It looks like Jhon Durán is a wanted man. He's been linked with Chelsea. He's been linked with a move away from Aston Villa. And it looks like West Ham are extremely interested in the 20-year-old Colombian. A player that showed flashes of brilliance, a bit of rawness. So we're going to be looking at his strengths, weaknesses, and if he was to leave Villa or even stay Villa, how to get the best out of him and what he could potentially become. So just a quick reminder, if you are new here, my name's Antonio Mango and I scout, analyse and do a breakdown of all the best upcoming talents. You don't have to. So make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. So as always, let's do a quick recap of his background. Well, he began his career in Colombia where he was born for a team called Envigado. He was born on the 13th of December 2003, which makes him 20 at this moment. After playing for the youth setup of he was 11, he made his senior debut on the 13th of February 2019, then scored his first professional goal in the same year on 1st of September 2019. In doing so, he became the second youngest ever goal scorer in Colombian top flight at the age of 15 in 8 months. In 2020, he was included in Guardian's top 60 of the best young talents in world football. And then on the 11th of January 2021, Chicago Fire of the MLS announced the signing of Jhon Durán. He was actually spotted by their technical director who was watching a player that he used to own and spotted Jhon Durán at just 17 years old. Then after impressing in the senior team at Chicago Fire, it was Aston Villa that announced the signing of Jhon Durán on the 16th of January 2023. Then in that season, Jhon Durán scored a goal of the season for Aston Villa where he scored a chested volley in the Premier League against Crystal Palace. But he'd be best known for his cameo against Liverpool where they were needing 2 goals to keep pursuit of the UEFA Champions League, and Jhon Durán scored a brace which ended the game in 3-3. It does look like he is set to leave this summer. So we're going to be breaking down his strengths, his weaknesses, and his positional play and what he can bring to a club that he moves to. But positionally, Jhon Durán is a striker. As you can see, he's been most used, especially at Chicago Fire, as a lone striker. But in Aston Villa, he has been used inside a duo. This highlights his tactical understanding. You'll often see him working the channels in between the fullback and the centre-back. Because of his physicality, he stands at 6'1" and he's nice and broad and athletic. You'll often see him dropping deeper to receive the play, but he's quick as well, and that's frightening. So you'll often see him working the channels, trying to get the defenders turning, latching on to loose balls. In fact, for long passes received per 90, he's sitting at 1.37, whether that be a long pass into feet or into space so he can run onto. That's quite similar to Mikel Antonio, who's sitting at 1.36. As part of his movement, he'll happily come and collect the ball, maybe dropping deeper or just receiving the ball with his back to goal. His physicality is one of his biggest strengths, and he's so good and overwhelming when holding off defenders. He's got good pace, acceleration and strength, and he's a player that can receive on the move, but he also does well as receiving statically as well. His strength allows him to pin almost the strongest central defenders. When he understands he's got to be an outlet for his team, he adjusts his position by adopting himself in between the central defenders and then dropping deeper so he can receive in space. One thing I want to be clear on, Jhon Durán doesn't drop as deep as a Harry Kane or a Karim Benzema. He doesn't go that far deep, but he radiates around the attacking third, and this allows him to hold a play and pin back defenders. But he's got good movement, and his movement is spinning behind is excellent as well. And again, to do so, he uses the inside channels. Durán has extraordinary athleticism and strength, and he's got good pace and movement to get him behind. Speed and pace in which he moves with causes defenders real problems. What I like about him, he shows great desire to make second man runs when he's laid a ball off or when he's just looking to adjust his running style. he causes real problems in adjusting his movement. Instead of being laboured in the first movement and he doesn't receive the ball, he will move in an opposite direction to try and receive the ball again. A huge stride, he's powerful and he's dynamic. He often overtakes opponents with sheer power. He's always on the move, and as a result, the opponents need to stay concentrated at all times. If not, any lapse in that and he will take advantage. So he can drag defenders away from their position and then immediately change his position and line of direction to cause real problems. He offers brilliant forward movements around the opposition's central defenders. So when seeking the ball or supporting attacking runs, he excels at moving his opponents out of position. And this is where he becomes more dangerous inside that final third when he's facing goal. His strength and his power is largely why he's so effective when moving forwards in possession. He's extremely quick and powerful in transitions. When defenders can match his speed, they struggle to stop him because of his size and his strength. He's dribbling, he's not a silky dribbler. You'll not see him do step overs, or he's not very composed in possession. What he will do is plough through opponents. Speed is one thing, but when you've got upper body strength to match, it ensures he eases past opponents. He does his best work when he's got space to plough into, where he can build up momentum. He builds up momentum very quickly because of his power and his acceleration. This strikes fear in the opposition's eyes because when there's room to move into, he doesn't hesitate and he does it with power. He wants to be dynamic and he's extremely athletic. Even though he dribbles with power and athleticism, it does naturally nicely flow, and this is quite appeasing to watch. It makes a perfect combination of physicality and pace. Because of this, at times he's often been brought down, causing tactical fouls, or even just frustrating the opposition that they have to bring him down. But his work in tight areas will have to improve in the dribbling aspect. You're not going to get much link-up play from Jhon Durán. You'll get some parts, you'll do it at times, but he doesn't really care for much in linking up play and being part of the build-up phase. He wants to be the brutal force that gets in behind and has a shot at goal. Like I say, he will show and be a release for long balls, but he wants to be that chance man. He wants to feed off chances. So most likely you'll be looking to get yourself into position to score goals or get a shot off at goal. What he does excel is holding on to the ball for longer periods, using his strength to back into opponents and just bully them off the ball. It makes him such a valuable outlet because it allows teammates to adopt better in different positions. His passing accuracy isn't bad, but it's not incisive. He's not going to be a difference maker in terms of vision. He's not going to create many opportunities throughout the 90 minutes for your team. Shot creating actions, he's sitting at the 42 percentile. That's low in terms of an attacking offensive player. Where he is a beast in terms of the build-up play is when he's latching onto through balls or latching onto loose balls. He's so competitive and he's got the upper body strength, the acceleration, the athleticism and reaction speed to get there before opponents. So he's such a menace and impactful when he's creating loose balls in the moments. Where Jhon Durán excels and makes a world of difference is inside and around the penalty area. A high shot volume player, he always wants to get a shot off. His clever movement and lethal finishing make a deadly combination. It's the speed and the power in which he shoots with. Even from a static position, it's extraordinary. He demonstrates good balance. He demonstrates powerful and he needs little backlift to get a shot on target. But it's his ability to twist and turn with the ball at his feet inside the box that makes him such a threat because he can score from all angles. But given his height, his athleticism, he's also extremely strong in the air. To the extent he can compete with the very best, especially in that penalty area. This just enhances his threat. As he's approaching the goal, he makes smaller and sharper movements. This is where he spots an opportunity to be dangerous. As the ball's arriving or as he's moving into space, he'll quickly change the line of his direction to accelerate into that space where he can finish in more at the far post, but he's also got the ability to attack the near post as well. It's extremely difficult for defenders to read his game close at the goal. His most impressive aspect in front of goal is the speed in which he shoots at. It offers defenders, goalkeepers less time to react. And he can generate jaw-dropping power with his shot with little backlift. The combination of conviction in front of goal make him extremely deadly. He's got good movement, he's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's got good shooting technique, and he needs little room or backlift to get a powerful shot on goal. This means he's got the attributes to really be an exceptional goal scorer. Most of his shots are made in dangerous central areas, from inside or just outside the penalty area. This reflects on his good understanding on how to create separation from defenders. He's really got the potential to be a master in those situations, but he's still incredibly raw. The end product is still very, very raw. However, the potential is evident to see. So inside the box, Durán doesn't need much wiggle room to get a convincing shot off. Even with his rigid dribbling, or he's not very decisive in tight areas, he's very prone to just creating separation a little yard from himself and getting a shot off. When he's shooting from the left-hand side, he shows good disguise to get a shot off at either corner. When he's shooting from the right-hand side, he's far more one-dimensional, using the inside of his boot to try and curl the ball into the far corner. Like from a defensive aspect, well, he shows great work rate in pressing opponents and contributing defensively when needed, making many ball recoveries in the final third and forcing quick turnovers. So he shows real good determination when trying to win the ball back. He'll fight for the ball, but his decision making on when to engage and when to tackle does need improvement. But he generally shows good reading and covering zones or picking up loose balls, which he's excellent at. One of his weaknesses, well, his decision making and his link-up play have to improve. So his consistency and his decision making need to improve. He's sometimes erratic on the ball, with his shooting, dribbling, and passing. This results in a lot of errors or turnovers for the opposition. Sometimes he shoots when he's got absolutely no chance of scoring. The release and timing of his passing is somewhat wayward. And sometimes his dribbling can be really rigid, resulting in a loss of possession. One thing I will say about his link-up play, his hold-up play is generally very good. He protects the ball well under pressure, but he just needs to be more savvy in bringing others into the game. So in a nutshell, whoever is to sign Jhon Durán is somebody that's getting a real brute force and can impact the game because he strikes fear into the opposition. He's really a menace and he believes in his own ability. When you've got that belief, the physicality and the power, it's almost unstoppable to stop. He makes good runs into the box, but he also makes good runs into the channels. He can score goals and finish from various ranges in different angles. That's something that can be coached into him without a doubt. So the potential in Jhon Durán is clear. He's only 20 years old. Now, another thing that has been mentioned about Jhon Durán is his mentality and his maturity. He does need to somewhat mature a little, both on the pitch and off the pitch. On the pitch, you'll often see him getting his head down, sulking when he doesn't receive a pass. But again, he's only young and that is something that will come with experience. But whoever signs Jhon Durán is really getting an impactful, brute force of a player. There you go, guys. There's a scout report on Jhon Durán. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And any recommendations you want us to look at a player, drop the name in the below and I will without a doubt. But once again, I just want to appreciate your time, your watching time. And generally, I just want to say thank you very much.